Hello, so let's start implementing iteration number 4. Our app has already red and the green components, so the user can control those. We need to give the user the other two components, which is the blue and the alpha. So I'll start again from the view, and I need to add two more sliders. So you can add slider components. So I'll add a slider here. And again, and that will be the blue slider. So here are the values, and I'm gonna change this to reflect the blue. And I'll add another one for the alpha. Oops. Now the alpha doesn't really have color, so I'm just gonna use black for that, or to represent, and I want to set the initial value of alpha to 1. So that's my interface. So then to make the connections, I want to set up the connect the assistant editor. I close the utility area, hit the utility area. So first the blue slider I need to connect as an outlet. So here is an outlet, and I'm gonna call this slider blue. Then the alpha slider and slider alpha. Then for the change color function, I need, when those sliders, to add two more events that this function listens to. So when the blue slider changes, I want the function to execute its instructions and change the color. And when the alpha slider changes, I want also the function to respond to that. So now if you hover over the function, you see all 4 sliders connected to the function. And if you view the view controller, now you see there are 4 sliders here connected to 4 variables, and 4 sliders connect 4 sliders that have their value changed event connected to the function change color. So then we need to go into the function and modify it. So let's switch back to the regular editor. And here are my function. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. So first step, retrieve the value of the slider. So I need to repeat that for the blue and the alpha. So let blue value equal slide blue dot value, and let alpha value equal slide alpha dot value. So now I retrieved all of them into my model, which is the variables that have the scope of the change color function. In the initializer, the color initializers, instead of the 0 that I used for the blue, I can now replace this with whatever value contained in the memory location identified by the identifier blue value. So I'll say here, but blue value is float because that's what value is. So I need to convert the float to core graphics float, CG float, and I'll use that function for it. So I'll say CG float, and then say blue value and close. Likewise for the alpha, instead of passing 1, I'll say use whatever value in the memory location identified by the name or the identifier alpha value, and that's it. So now the initializers, and then I need another one to close the initializer. So now the UI color initializes a color based on the value, the component values contained in memory locations identified by the model, the memories I created here, which are retrieved from the slider variables that have a class scope that are at the same time a connection, an outlet connection to the actual user interface. The last step is to use that color to set the background color. This will not change and stays the same. So then I go ahead and run the app to see that all of this is working. So here is the alpha to 1, and now let's change the red color. So as you notice here, first the slider alpha is very close to the view, so I need to adjust that layout a little bit. But before I adjust that, let's test. So I'll take the red and the green to 0. Then my test, put the blue to 1, see full blue, put the blue to 0, you see the black. Now set the alpha to 1, you see this. If you take the alpha all the way to 0, you get the background layer. So the view is set on top of another layer that is white. So alpha 0 meaning that you do not see the color of the view, which is black, but you see the underlying color. Or in fact, you see a mix between the two until the alpha goes to 0, where you see only the background. So that's the transparency of the alpha. So if you want a gray color, so you can do a lower alpha on a black. If you take all the colors to the fullest, you will get the white color, which in this case, even that alpha is 1, it's kind of looking transparent because it's the same as the background color, but it's not really transparent. You can then find that you can generate different types of colors here, and you can play with them. So that's the first part of the app, which is constructing the colors. Notice here that something we did not think about. I don't know what is this value. So I moved the red to this location, the green and the blue, maybe even the alpha, and I looked at this color. That is an interesting color, but I have no idea what those values of the sliders are. Maybe it's 0.7, maybe 0.6, I don't really know. So it will be very good if we can display the actual number that's representing the color in here. And so how we can do that, this is not something we thought about before, but now that we built the app and we can see it, our vision for the app evolves, and the vision of the owner of our project will evolve as well. So now that the owners see so far, they realize something that they did not realize before in the beginning, which that we would like to see the actual text that represent those slider values. So we're gonna add an iteration at this point, a new iteration into the mix, and that new iteration will be responsible for displaying the colors, the values of the colors in here, and we'll do that in the next video.